All right. Welcome to the stream, folks. We are at it again. Whoa, almost punctured myself with something. Yeah, been a bit quiet on the streams, but we're at it again here now. And let me just make sure that we're looking at the right thing here. Okay, so what do we got? Yeah, I think we're still dealing with this unit here. Moisture, yeah, I have it marked as moisture because it's got that whole sort of it's got that whole potential moisture problem. So I think the last time that we went at this, we needed to plug in the Genesis to it, and I was trying to find a way to power it and switch it on without the Genesis, and I yeah, I guess I didn't do a whole lot beyond that. Um, Now since then, I've done a little bit of research. I mean, there might be some work to do on reflowing some pins potentially, so we might take a look at that. But I'm going to bring over the scope for a second so we can take a look at the MCE pins, because the interesting thing about this one is that there we go. It does have quite an ugly looking MCE in terms of the pins, but it's not like the worst I've seen. Let me just go back over here. There we go. And it doesn't look like there's any legs lifted. Like it's not like that kind of a deal. But that said, it still might be a case to reflow. When reflow is where we would put some flux on there, a little bit of solder, and we'd go and we'd redo all the pins. Um, but we definitely don't have. Let me just check on the other side here. Are we missing? Is this the one where we're missing? Yeah, we don't even have an LED on this one. Or sorry, we do have an LED, but the LED doesn't come on. And the LED should be coming on. Actually, like that R101. Look at that. See the way that's shorted over there? I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the way that's supposed to be. Give me a second here. Um, I feel like that shouldn't be like that. Um, and it's a very weird way to put it. What is the name? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to bridge R101, right? And what are you bridging R101 to is a question. I guess what's on the other side of there? Sorry, I'm just bringing it up here. That's the switch. So strange. It'd be nice to have a board scan at the back to see if that's intentional. Because it's such a sketcheroo thing to do. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Like as bad, as whatever the manufacturer was on these boards. R101. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at R101. This is probably gonna be a short stream. I gotta go actually do some stuff later. Um, or like in an hour I gotta leave. So let's just see what we're gonna do here. So all right, so I have bad Q302 written on here, so maybe I thought that's what I was saying. But let's go and see what R101 was supposed to be connected to. R101. So this is the water damaged one again. So let's see, Sega Mega CD2 service manual, right? Just loading this one up. Oh yeah, this is the one with the kind of really high-res schematics, so we can just, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so if we just go in here. All right, so we're going to take a look. R101 seems to be the bridged to either the switch or a capacitor. Let me just have a quick look here. Or a diode. No, it would appear to me. Sorry, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Bleh. It would appear to me that this is bridged, R101 is bridged to the anode of the LED. Yeah, okay. So let's just switch this over. I'll just put it back where it was. Or well, there it is. Well, all right. So there's the weird. I mean, that's not correct. So let's just have a quick look here and see what I can find. Um, and we'll go from there. I'm just looking at the schematic now, so we'll switch over to schematic view. Right, schematics. All right, so let's go up. Let's go up an atom. Up an atom. All right, blah 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 blah. BCC2 R101 connected to LD101. Hmm. Okay, and then onto a transistor, and then into the LED. Interesting. So R101 is connected directly to LD101. LD101 is the LED. So yeah. So it looks like that's correct. Don't know if it's properly connected to it, but just a weird little design. Let me just see if I can find Mega Drive 2 board scans. Mega CD2 board scans just to see. Oh, board scans Mega CD2. Yeah, I want the reverse, please. All right, that's no good. Okay, so only the front of the board. That's no good. Let's do images. Need to find the rear of the Mega CD2. Of course, there's no rear. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look here. So yeah, looks like that's probably right then. Okay. It would appear, yeah, there's no reverse, there's no rear of the board scans that I can see. But from what I can tell, R101 is bridged over to the LED, and then the LED goes to a cap, and then back to the other side. So let's just check. R102. Huh. LD101. Okay. Resistor. Oh, and that's a resistor. That doesn't look like a resistor though. Sorry. That's C503. Interesting. Okay. So I will say that like the MCE itself, which is the Mega Drive chip, um, does look a little crusty, so I'm wondering if we just do a reflow of this and then try it. So what we might do is just boot up the iron and just try to do a little bit of a gentle reflow over here because I feel like it can do no harm. And in the hour that I have, it might be just like the most interesting thing to do here. All right, let me see. Oh, switch scene. Yeah, sorry. Oh, what happened there? Why is that so Oh, I don't even know which scene I'm on now. Why did Firefox not go away? Okay, one sec. Oh, Firefox. Oh, because I had it maximized? Oh God, I don't know. All right, we'll just leave Firefox there. All right, let's go back to scope. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's just so you can see that these we'll do this side first. You can see that the pins here on the MC don't look the best. Now, I do think I kind of checked them the last time I was working on this stuff, but you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that they were all good. Okay, so let's just take a little gentle prod at these ones. Yeah, so this flux is just not the best, but that's okay. Yeah, don't worry about. I'm not worried about that. I just need to get my little I just need to get some of the solder off that there. All right, so I'll fix this up in a minute. Don't worry about that. So when you're sort of reflowing these little spaces, I'm using what I'm using is not a hoof tip, which is a bad idea, right? Um, so this is a flat chisel tip, which is basically not a good idea. I should have switched it over. I have multiple chisel tips here, and I'll use one now. So this is a chisel tip right here, right? So this is a chisel tip. Both does two things. It will suck up solder and it'll also drop solder. And what I've done here is I've uh, I've basically sort of made a little problem for myself by not using one. So this is me not doing the right thing. Where did I put my little? There it is. So I have a for removing my chisel tip. But basically, like this is a very fine pitch QFP, and so whenever you're dealing with these fine pitch things and you're reflowing them or you're just touching them in general, then what you want to do is you want to usually have a little chisel tip, or what's called a hoof tip, and the hoof tip then allows you to I'll just switch on the. I just want to switch on the heater again, and the hoof tip sort of it will eat up the solder that you're putting down. Number one, and then when you want to put down more solder, it actually holds it inside the hoof. So it's just a useful little tool. Um, so we'll just go back and use that now. Okay, now it's smoking because there must have been something on it from the last time I used it. Maybe some plastic or something. We'll see. Yeah, I can really smell it. So we're gonna have to clean it out, whatever it is. Let's have a look underneath here. It's all right. Now, right, watch. If we come in here now with this, is it a temp? It's a temp, yes. So now if we go in with the chisel tip, right, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving. Now, at this point, we don't have enough flux, so that's kind of part of the problem. So now I just need to get a different flux. Give me 1 second. Let's go back to the scope. So this is an MG Chemicals flux. The flux I was using before is more of a, it's not a fine tip, not a QFP type. No. Not that there's a type of flux, but just better flux works in these situations. So now, got quite a bit of flux here now, right? So now, stuff should really flow now. Yeah, okay. So now you see how most of my problems have gone away? It would appear. Now, so if we just go and zoom in a little bit there now. So you can see there's still some bridging, but for the most part we're largely good. Okay. All right. So now I just put it down again. So now I'm going to refloat these pins. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back in this little holder. Look there now. All right, so now what I would normally do is go and get the ones in the middle. Let's just take a look first, chat, at we're going to clean it with the alcohol and see, just get rid of the reflections, and then we should be able to take a better look. So I'm going to give it a clean. hmm Okay, so 1 second now. I'm just going to bring up the. All right, so yeah, we're good. We're largely good here, chat, I think. Um, so once you do a little bit of a, yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Okay, so that's our first side. Okay. Um, Now this side here, which is I guess another space for us to look at. Um, Actually, this side doesn't have as much kind of oxidized looking fellas, except for this one, which I'm quite unsure as to what has happened there. So let me just have a quick dip of flux, of the cheapo flux. Clean my iron a little bit. Let's go in again. Okay. Clean that with some one pin to the right. Let me have a look at that in a second. This one looks well sketched, to be honest. I do worry if that's. You see, which one to the right? Which one to the right are you talking about? Over here? Over here? I think there could be some damage here. Um, the pin above L. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, you're talking. Let me get my little tiny pin. I want to get my little pointer so that we can be on the same page here. Oh, interesting. My pointer's already out. So okay, so I'm going to take the other pointer. All right, so I think what you're saying is, chat, you are saying this one, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So let's just while we've got you here, I want to just do a quick pin leg check. All right. So those are fine. Do feel like this one is highly sketched. Let me just have a quick look. Let me just zoom in on this one for a second, okay? Let's just get down. Let's get down as far as we can go. Might get a little. It might get a little. It's gonna get. It's gonna get real. Hmm. Huh. Looks like solder mask. Maybe look. Hmm. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I believe you are corroded, sir. I believe you are corroded. So that would be the end of you. Yes, I think that trace is toast. Okay, let's clean it. Mm, maybe it's toast. It certainly doesn't look great. Yeah, I feel like that's gone, or or some amount of it is gone, and it's going to need to be repaired. Yeah. Let's okay, let's keep looking. All right, so that's okay, so that looks okay. These ones look all right, maybe. Okay, let me just go over here. Okay, 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 okay. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Yeah, that's probably ground pad anyway. Not gonna be too worried about that one. I feel like it's the same gunk, but this is not, I don't think this is going to I suppose it could cause a problem. But yeah, that one looks okay. Same issue there, there. Let's go back here and have a look. Looks like anything there we probably have resolved for the most part, but there's definitely. Now let's take a look at that one under the L. Yeah, now this one under the L could have a problem, or it could be fine. It looks like good metal under there. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like the best, but I also don't think it's the worst. Yeah, but there's definitely something sketchy about that trace. Maybe. All right, let's can we go further down? Let's see. Now let me just bring it up a little bit closer, just to see like how much can I actually, how close can I get to this? Um, just sorry, I'm just trying to get in here just to see if what have I lost here. It's hard for me to tell if I've actually lost the conductor. It's very hard to see. Okay. So it's hard to know what that actually is. but just let me see something real quick. I'm just going to turn it around so I can solder from this side. It does seem like there's some solder sticking there, so it may actually be okay. Or if it's not okay, it may not have been okay before, and now it's okay, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does look like the solder is grabbing something there, so that's good. And let's do the sketchy one while we're over here. The one under the L. Where's the one under the L? All right. And once I've done these, I might just give it a boot and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, these look really good. Nice fillets. Okay, nice chicken fillets there. Come back in and just give this guy a little bit of a boost. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this chip. All right, so now let's just turn that off. Get some alcohol. Touch up those pins I bridged. Which pin? Oh my gosh. All right, well, I guess I did that. Sorry, you're right. Touch up the pins. There we go. Thank you. Didn't even see that I had done that. So I almost bridged these too. Freaking capacitors in the way. Okay. Might have just been like a case of just not conducting well, just due to this little bit of corrosion. Let me just see here. Don't screw anything up up here. Hundreds of little pins. Also here. Whoops. Okay. right. Okay. All right. Let's just go over here and just make sure that we don't have any. I'm just going to see if there's any dodgy pins elsewhere, like really dodgy ones that we need to touch up. What's going on here? Okay. Don't see anything crazy there. Nothing too crazy there. Sorry, I'm just looking at what's going on here. Yeah, there's no issues there. All right, so then we got this. This is the Motorola CPU. Well, we kind of know this one works. And honestly, I think I already was at this one last week. Yeah, right. Diodes. Yeah, this is the one we looked at here. This one does have a slightly sketchy looking pin right there. Just get a little bit of a slightly sketchy looking pin right there. See it? See, that's really interesting. I want to flow. It's an interesting one, that one. Okay. Okay. Let's look at some other chips here. So I'm just looking at the legs under scope here. These all look okay. Because it could be just moisture caused like some legs to lift or get corroded or something to get corroded. So we just take a look and see if there's anything interesting. We've already done the main chip. We've taken a look here. Okay. All right, we've taken a look here. Let's go over to the RAM over here. We already looked there. What else do we have? These? Did we already look here? I think we did. A lot of corrosion looking stuff there. Um, but I don't know if it would cause. Don't know if there's anything major there. Okay, now, sorry, I'm just going to take this off the board just for 1 second. Yeah, what about here? What about that? That looks, well, it looks a little disgusting. Don't know if it's problematic, but it looks a bit dodgy. Yeah, it looks actually almost rusted. Ooh, that doesn't look good, does it? That doesn't look good at all. Yuck. What happened there? Ooh, that's like a mold or something. Oh yeah, that's not good at all. So it could be that this chip is, I mean, this whole unit could be toast because of all this, but like, look at all this. Yeah, I wonder did this particular chip get actual, hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of gunk hiding behind that pin is right. Look at all this, look. Now this would be this for the drive though. So the unit should still boot, even with all this, right? But there's definitely so even if we do get this unit booting, I bet you there'll be some problem with the CD drive then, right? But look at that, yeah, there's definitely something down there. And those three pins, I mean, God knows if they're still connected. 804, okay. So there's definitely something going on this corner. But I think what we ought to focus on is probably like, the the custom IC chips, the BIOS. I think this is the BIOS here. Let's go back over here, you know. But whatever rusted was kind of over here somewhere. There's that chip. Yeah. So whatever it was that got dunked on the board was probably over here somewhere, right? Yeah, look, see. So the BIOS. Now I was waiting on something, wasn't I, to plug into this board to check the BIOS, which we can also do if this doesn't boot this time. Um, let's just go over here now and just check this again. Yeah, so there's definitely some damage to this side of the board. All right, let's keep looking. I'm just going to sorry, it's going to turn it around so I can see what's going on. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty bad. Yeah, like a cola or something. Yeah, there's oh my God. Yeah. So this chip, you'd almost be better to take it off, but I mean, but if you do that, yeah, there's a lot of problems with this side of the board for sure. Yeah, maybe like a cola or some sort of you know, some sort of a something. Yeah, you can already see. Yeah, we did. I think we looked at this particular cap before too. Yeah, this doesn't mean that this is bad, but it certainly doesn't look good, does it? You're saying pull off the CD chip, or you mean this cap? See, whatever it is, right? This is where it gets a little tricky. Whatever it is, it's somewhat corrosive, but it actually hasn't. It's not like battery acid, right? It hasn't like gone down and destroyed the board. Um, like you see, where I was able to just basically take that off. So it's a different kind of a gunk, but you can see it there. Look at all the debris. See this debris here? So it's almost like it's hard to know what it is actually. It's not. Yeah, there you go. Well, there's some of it on the copper. Yeah, the CXD. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, I don't think there's a bad idea to pull that one off completely. Or maybe this could be bits and pieces of cockroach too. That's what it could be. The remnants of one. Um, okay. So CXD probably does need to come off. But I don't think that CXD would, unless it was shorted, would prevent um, booting of the board, right? So just give this a second now. Is that area wet from me or something else? I think it's wet from just the alcohol, or the alcohol's become contaminated and it just doesn't. Sorry, the alcohol became contaminated and then it doesn't dry off as quickly. One second here. Okay, we'll just give this a boot in a second, okay? Just gotta pull back that little transistor or whatever it is. Hmm. So, if this does boot, we'll have at least had an attempt to fix the CXD rust, but it's very corroded. Not the worst corrosion I've ever seen. I mean, it's reasonably actually, you know, still alive, but not the best ever either. If we can fillet this correctly, it should make good connection if those are good. Lord help us. What in the name of God happened here? You know, I mean, the part of the problem with trying to fix these so uh, completely, or trying to save them all, right, is that you kind of don't end up with too many parts boards because you're literally trying to fix every single one. So in this case, right, I really could do with a CXD donor rather than trying to save this one. So we'll see what happens. Okay, just give me a sec. I ran out of flux there. Um, okay, let's just get some flux in there too, and then I'll put some flux at the bottom, and then I think we'll be in reasonably good shape. See all of the dust and rust or whatever it is that went into the flux. Okay. Okay, so now I got to clean up some of this so I can take back some of the I can uh take back some of the solder back into the hoof. Which IC am I burning with the iron? This IC or the little rectangular one beside it? It is kind of hard for me to see. Oh, this one. If you're saying this one, the rectangular one, yeah. Let's see, am I burning it? Oh, I am, yeah. It's getting a little crispy. So that could be another problem. I sorry, I didn't see that when I was doing it. Okay, so I think I'm almost done now anyway. Yeah, that's fine. And then, although, wait a second, it might not be 100% fine. Okay. All right. And then on this side, yeah, it looks like that. Whoa, it did get over there. Okay. I was just going to say, oh, it didn't get over there, and then of course it did. So now I can tell you getting into this space is going to be tricky without burning something. Okay. All right, let me just stop there for a second, right? I'm just going to chop the iron so I don't do any more terrible work. Um, Let me just clean that CXD. I'm just going to clean that CXD chip all around. Um, that one of them looks very shadowy, I will say that. Okay, where am I here? Yeah, this one here, you can see even from the top of the board, this looks really sketchy. Let me just clean the top of the thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave in 10 minutes, so we want to test it before I leave. Okay. I mean, yeah. So I think it's like, uh, now I have to switch it back on again. Um, just have a quick look here. Go back over here. So if you remember how rusty these legs looked, right? If you remember how rusty they looked when we started, and now how not rusty they look, um, then you know, then you might be hopeful that either A, I've cleaned up the MCE pins, or B, I fixed the CXD. But we won't really know anything about the CXD until the yoke is booting anyway. And there's a test apparently to test the BIOS of this with all right, that looks okay now. Okay, and now let me just make sure that I've got that without bridging. That looks like it. All right. Okay, so let's take this and switch it off. Okay. And now let's go back to regular overhead mode, and let's just see if we've made this better or worse. Um, Apparently it should show us a BIOS screen even without, should show us a BIOS screen even without the uh, thing. All right, so if we go to, all right, so that's cool. Oh, it looks like it is plugged in. Okay, so let's see what we get. All right, still black screen. Okay. Now we did test what did we test? Yeah, still nothing. No, sorry, yeah, this is the LED. Ah. Now we did scope the CPU the last time. and it told us that the CPU was like semi-alive. Um, Let me think about this for a second. Just fixing the color balance there. Um, okay, so that didn't help, but that's okay. Okay. Oops. Okay, that didn't help. So, if that didn't help, then what's next? I mean, we really have to start. We'd have to start checking VCC on a lot more pins. Or we'd have to see like which chips aren't receiving voltage, I guess. That might be a plan. Let me just see over here. Let me just bring this thing up. Sorry, I'm going to switch scene in a second. I'm just trying to take a look at the board here. Oh yeah, just very slightly give that chip a little burn, but nothing crazy. Okay, so just yeah, there's a lot of little whatever it is, Coca-Cola or whatever little damage points there, but nothing or at least discoloration, but nothing crazy. Um, CPU. I mean, if the CPU was dead, I feel like we'd have this would be maybe similar. But it's so far away from where that other damage was that I think. I mean, there is this Sega chip which has a little weirdness here. There's a little weirdness there, but nothing. Nothing super unusual here. Just don't see any obvious lifted things. what that is. These are usually RAMs that are tied together. So there's your CPU. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this, let me just see something. Great, so now why isn't, okay, if I do this, okay, I might have to give up, because it seems like, hey, when this happens now, it does seem like the, yeah, it looks like the thing has decided to blow up on me. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, so game. Why is it doing that? Pain. Yeah, so yeah, so for some reason it's not doing the device is not booting up. Give me 1 second.